Well, Ishwarappa, who was seen campaigning in Shimoga, challenged Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. They went ahead and stated, more than anything else, of course, that he would go ahead and call for a CBI inquiry into the same. But moving on, former Chief Minister Jagdish Shettar has alleged that Jnanapith writers Girish Karnad and Anant Murthy are secret members of the Naxalite movement in the country. While addressing a rally in Malur, Shettar made these comments. They have been referred to as leftists by the BJP top brass. My colleague Harish joins us with more information. Harish, clearly a targeted attack by Shettar against Anant Murthy and Girish Karnad, and something that these writers will not take lying down.
Them and follows all these writers will take it lightly, because remember, Jagdish Shettar hasn't just stopped at calling these people as leftist or people with leftist ideology or supporting leftist ideology. He has gone one step further and has called both Girish Karnad and Anant Murthy as someone who have a nexus with Naxalites, or have a connection with Naxalites, people who don't just support them, have a connection with them. That is some serious allegation that Jagdish Shettar is making without any evidence to talk about, or without anything that he can quote from, whether it's the intelligence report or past instances where they have been found having a connection with Naxalites. So this is a serious allegation that Jagdish Shettar has made, but it has a lot of background as well. If you look at what has happened in the past 1 week or so, we have seen Girish Karnad coming out and campaigning actively for Congress's Bangalore South candidate Nandan Nilekani, and yesterday there was a press conference where Girish Karnad, Anant Murthy, Mallu Siddhappa and other writers came out in the open and said that they would go ahead with the Congress. They would support the Congress just for the fact that they are more secular than BJP. Although they might not be the best possible people to govern right now, but they are secular than the BJP. That's the reason they are supporting. So that has kind of worked several BJP leaders, and that's the reason we saw Anant Kumar going to all the TV artists' house yesterday and talking to people over the past few days who are in the TV industry and other noted celebrities in the constituency. And now you have this statement coming in from Chief Minister Jagdish Shettar, stating that just writing poems and other novels will not make these people any great if they are having such ideology and such stance, such leftist stance. This is what Jagdish Shettar has told Akshita.
Right, Harish, more than anything else, of course, it seems like an attack against these writers because of the support that they have been giving to Congress. We've seen Girish Karnad actively campaigning for Nandan Nilekani, and of course, Anant Murthy was someone who has slammed Narendra Modi in the past as well. But does it look like Shettar could pay dearly for these comments, considering that he has absolutely no proof to back these statements?
Exactly. First of all, as I told, it's just surely because of their support to the Congress that now Jagdish Shettar has decided to take on both these writers. And it's not like the man in question, that Jagdish Shettar didn't know the leanings or ideologies of both these writers. It has been evident for decades now, even in their writing. So did Jagdish Shettar now realize that perhaps they are inclined towards leftist ideology? Well, that is something that even Jagdish Shettar knows very well, that it's only because of election that he has come out with this statement. But it will mean more trouble if the Congress decides to go ahead and or Congress, or in fact Anant Murthy or Girish Karnad or any of these writers decide to go ahead and complain to the Election Commission on the kind of speech made by Jagdish Shettar, Rakshita.
Right, Harish, thank you so much for joining us with all that information. But Jagdish Shettar launching a scathing attack against two renowned writers, Anant Murthy and Girish Karnad, not mincing his words while going ahead and stating that both of them are leftists. Now the question is, does he have any proof to go ahead and make this kind of statement? As of now, absolutely not. It seems like the former Chief Minister seems to have reacted out of sheer frustration, keeping in mind that Girish Karnad himself has been campaigning actively for Nandan Nilekani, and of course Anant Murthy is known to be someone who does not support Narendra Modi. And while Ishwarappa, who was seen campaigning in Shimoga, challenged Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, the former Deputy Chief Minister showed his bike riding skills as well. He challenged the CM to conduct a probe into his family's assets and demanded an apology if they failed to find anything. The statement came after Siddaramaiah had alleged that Ishwarappa and Yediyurappa had looted half the wealth of Shimoga. He also said that the Chief Minister's son was involved in illegal sand mining and accused him of amassing wealth disproportionate to known sources of income.
ಈ ಒಂದು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಆಡಳಿತ ವೈಫಲ್ಯ, ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ನ ಏಕತೆಯ ವೈಫಲ್ಯ, ಇದನ್ನು ಜನರು ಮರಿಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದೇ ಉದ್ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಬಾಯಿ ಬಂದಂಗೆ ಕೆಪಿಸಿಸಿ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷ ಪರಮೇಶ್ವರ್ ಅವರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಮೈಮೇಲೆ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಇಲ್ಲದಂಗೆ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯನವರು ಕೂಡ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಒಬ್ಬ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಆಗಿದ್ದಂಥ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯನವರು ಒಬ್ಬ ರೈತ ಆತ್ಮಹತ್ಯೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಡೀ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಜನ ಬೇಸರ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ದುಃಖ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಪಡಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಆಗಿದ್ದಂಥ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯನವರು, ಆ ರೈತ ಹೆಂಡ ಕೂಡ ಸತ್ರು ಅಂತ. ಒಬ್ಬ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಬಾಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋಂಥ ಮಾತಾ ಇದು. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಪೂರ್ಣ ನಿರಾಶೆ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಇಡೀ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ರೈತರಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದಂಥ ಅವಮಾನ ಇದು. ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅವ್ರು ರಾಜ್ಯದ ರೈತರು ಕ್ಷಮೆ ಕೇಳಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಕೂಡ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿನ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಯಾವ ಹೋರಾಟ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಕೆಪಿಸಿಸಿ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷ ಪರಮೇಶ್ವರ್ ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ಮಾಜಿ ಪ್ರಧಾನಮಂತ್ರಿ ದೇವೇಗೌಡರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಹಿರಿಯ ರಾಜಕಾರಣಿಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅವರು ಯಾವತ್ತು ವಿಷ ಕೊಡು ಸಾಯ್ತಾರೋ ನಾನು ಕಾಯ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಆಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಇವರಿಬ್ಬರು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಡಳಿತ ನಡೆತಾರಂಥ ಪಕ್ಷ, ಆಡಳಿತ ನಡೆಸಿದಂಥ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆನ ನನ್ನ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೇಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ಸೋಂಥ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಿ ನನ್ನ ಮನೆ ರೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿಸಿ ಏನೂ ಸಿಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಒತ್ತಾಯ ಮಾಡೋದೇನೋ, ನೀವು ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಒಂದು CBI ತನಿಖೆ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡಿ. ಯಾವ್ದಾರು ಅಕ್ರಮ ನಂದಾಗಿದ್ದರೆ ನಾನು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಶಿಸ್ತಿಗೆ ಒಳಪಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ತಯಾರಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಶಿಕ್ಷೆಗೆ ಒಳಪಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ತಯಾರಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನೀವು ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ನೀವು ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಆಗಿದ್ದ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ತನಕನೂ ಕೂಡ ನೀವೇನೇನು ಮಾಡಿದಿರೋ CBI ತನಿಖೆ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ನಾನು ಮೈಸೂರಿಂದ ಬಂದೆ ನೆನ್ನೆ, ಮರಳು ದಂಧೆ, ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಅವ್ರ ಮಗ ಲೋಕೋಪಯೋಗ ಸಚಿವರು ಅವ್ರ ಮಗ, ಆ ಜನ ತುಂಬ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಇವ್ರ ಕೈಲಾಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋಂಥ ವರ್ಗಾವಣೆಗಳು, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆದಿರೋಂಥ ಲೂಟಿ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಇತಿಹಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂದೂ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ.
Ishwarappa going ahead and slamming, first of all, the Chief Minister for his comment on the suicide of the farmer Vittal Arabavi. Soon after, also talking about the allegations against him with regard to disproportionate assets, something that has been haunting him for quite some time now. He has gone out and stated, of course, that Siddaramaiah is more than welcome to initiate a CBI probe, and if there's absolutely no proof against him, he will have to apologize. Remember, Siddaramaiah only recently made a comment about KSE and Yediyurappa having looted half of Shimoga's wealth. Congress candidate from Bangalore South, Nandan Nilekani, was campaigning at BTM layout today. Nilekani started campaigning from 6:30 in the morning. He spoke to the residents of the area regarding their problems. Nilekani also played badminton at a BBMP park with the people who were present there. Nilekani expressed confidence of winning the elections from the Bangalore South constituency. But considering that it was bus day as well, Nilekani decided to go ahead and exploit the same. He was seen travelling in a BMTC bus, meeting with the passengers and also interacting with them with regard to what sort of provisions they wanted, facilities, or if there was anything else in their minds. So Nandan Nilekani embarking on a unique campaign of sorts there. Started off, of course, with him going ahead and meeting several people in BTM layout. He even went on to meet walkers and other people at the BBMP park, and soon after he hopped onto a bus to celebrate bus day with several commuters. And moving on, an all-out war has erupted over Cobra Post sting operation. The operation claims that Advani and PV Narasimha Rao knew about the Babri Masjid demolition. BJP has said that the sting operation seems to be a violation of the Model Code of Conduct and have requested the Election Commission to stop its broadcast. The party has alleged that the Congress is behind the sting operation and is attempting to polarize the election with it. In its first reaction to the sting operation carried out by Cobra Post, the Congress party said that action must be taken against those who have been named in the sting.
The Ibrahim Commission of Inquiry that probed the 1992 demolition of the Babri Masjid found 68 people culpable for leading the country into the worst ever communal discord since partition. Among them is this godman Sakshi Maharaj.
मैं इस बात पे भी गवाही दे रहा हूँ और ये मीडिया के कैमरे में भी बंद होगा.
In conversation with Cobra Post reporter K. Ashish, Swami Sachidanand Sakshi, also known as Sakshiji Maharaj,
That was just an excerpt of the video released by Cobra Post of the sting operation that they conducted. They claimed that they spoke to several people, and all those who were, of course, named as guilty by the CBI themselves went on to express absolutely no regret and only showed some sort of pride in what they had done. So it doesn't seem, going by the sting operation, that it was a spontaneous riot that led to the demolition of Babri Masjid, but careful, meticulous planning that led to the demolition, wherein several members, about 38 of them, were specially trained by former military personnel to go ahead and carry out this attack. And what's all the more damning is that several politicians have also been named. The sting operation names senior veteran leaders like L.K. Advani, Murli Manohar Joshi, Uma Bharti, Kalyan Singh, as well as Narasimha Rao, saying that they were in the know of things.
Communal discord since partition. Among them is this godman Sakshi Maharaj.
मैं इस बात पे भी गवाही दे रहा हूँ और ये मीडिया के कैमरे में भी बंद होगा.
In conversation with Cobra Post reporter.
And well, 6 Supari killers have been arrested by the Bengaluru police. The Banashankari police have taken them into custody. The accused have been identified as Atush Toparaju, Amin, Sudhir Teja and Keshamurthy, who have been arrested. The gang had murdered Rowdy Sheet and Naveen. Atush had given the contract to kill Naveen over an old enmity. When you see on your screens, there were the Supari killers who went ahead and killed Rowdy Sheet and Naveen on March 26th. So barely 10 days after, we're looking at the case being cracked by the cops, and all 6 involved have been taken into custody, including the person who had given the Supari for the killing. We understand that it was a case of personal enmity and rivalry that led to the death of Naveen. But of course, of late we have been seeing many such incidents come to light where the rivalry between 2 rowdy sheeters led to death on the streets, bloodshed on the streets. This was a case that shocked the people of Banashankari when in fact rowdy sheeter Naveen was found dead in the road. Soon after, the cops launched an investigation and have nabbed all 6 involved. And moving on, as part of its aspirations to build a regional navigational system equivalent to global positioning system of the US, ISRO is set to send its 2nd satellite from Sriharikota today. The satellite would help put in place the Indian Regional Navigational Satellite System. The 2nd of the 7 planned satellites for the system, IRN-SS-1B, would be launched at 5:14 p.m. from the first launch pad of Satish Dhawan Space Center at Sriharikota. The 1,432 kg weighing satellite is being sent on board an XL version of ISRO's workhorse PSLV.